Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg. I'm Village President Al Larson. In this episode, we'll find out what to expect from this year's Screen Test Student Fest. Then we'll talk with Cook County Commissioner Tim Schneider. We'll close out the program by learning about the Schaumburg Community Garden Club. All this and more here today on Speaking of Schaumburg. This month, the Prairie Center will once again host the area's most talented young filmmakers as they showcase their work at the Screen Test Student Fest. Here to tell us what we can expect this year, our event coordinator Rob Palekas and festival judge Jay Flynn. Jay, good to have you back.
Thank you.
Hold on to that cup. Rob, how did this start and where did Jay come from?
Where did he come from? Out of the blue. Through a letter to the village manager, Ken Fritz, in 2006. He sent a letter. Oh, I don't have that letter with me, but it did say that, you were, I think, in 7th grade at the time?
I was just going to finish my 8th grade year.
Saying that Schaumburg, being a festive town, should have its own film festival.
Why a film fest, though?
I had a real interest in film. I thought what goes into making movies was really cool, and I thought it would be interesting to see what different students can come up with and have that shown here right in our hometown.
Now, how many years has this been now?
We've been going since 2007, so this would be our 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, our 7th year. Okay. Yeah, so it's been going strong.
And it's grown quite a bit too, hasn't it?
We do get more submissions. Less than a third of the people who submit will be accepted into the festival. So it's competitive. It's hard to get in these days.
How many entrants are there?
We get upwards to 40 entries,
really?
And we have room for about 10 or 11 for the festival. So it's and what we're seeing is that this level of sophistication has increased every year. I think kids are learning, having a more of a visual talent for telling stories. They're more. I think they're more honest with their work, so their work is more.
Oh, what does that mean? I'm more honest with their work. That sounds like film talk, Harry. You've been reading reviews too.
Well, in the world of cinema, we have the. The funny thing is that the film somehow allows them to kind of bare their souls, and they do that, and I think that's what's great about these movies. So
is there an age bracket? Is it broken into brackets?
We have 2 nights of the festival. We have our first night, which is. Team screen tests. These are team projects that are led by a teacher or an advisor, and that's open to 5th through 8th graders, and that's our first night. That's Friday night. You actually get
entrance at that
we
level?
do, yeah, we do. We've had winners as young as 6th grade, so 13 years old, have taken home first prize, and it's an amazing talent what they do.
Some of the stuff is pretty gripping too. I mean,
some of the stuff is pretty gripping. I think. I think it's that the age. It's a pretty gripping time to be alive. It's a lot of things happening, and so
there's a spooky one you had with a gun and.
They do some of that stuff. You had a Santa Claus that ran kind of amok in one of the episodes. What else have we had? And we actually get also some.
Wait, you had a killer Santa Claus?
We had a killer Santa Claus.
Oh. Everybody's childhood hero running around.
Yeah, with a big knife.
Destroy somebody's dreams.
Well, that's what we're about here. So that's what we're here for. But I mean, that's what these kids come up with. Sometimes they're funny.
That was the first film we had to kind of give a little brief introduction to that said, you may want to step out if you have young children.
Right.
Now, what do you look for when you judge a entrant?
There's different criteria that we look at. So a lot of it's writing, the way that it's shot, production values, audio, that kind of thing, the way it's put together. So there's different criteria that we look at, and everything's kind of averaged out when we go to choose who's going to get in and who's actually going to win the prizes.
Now, has any of your winners ever gone on to a career that you're aware of?
We know of some of the people who are, and they're still pretty young, but they've gone on to study film in college, and I do see them still making movies, which
Really?
are even better now, actually. They have much more impressive work than they did even back then, which was pretty strong back then. So we do see, we do like to follow up and see how they're doing.
Now was you guys' efforts the first ones out there in terms of films?
This kind of festival, I think, is one of a kind. First of all, it's open to the public, and there aren't very many youth film festivals in the area. I can't think of any others. There are film festivals, but some they'll either include adults, all ages. They might be just open to a certain maybe area or school, but this one is open to everyone. It's open, and the film festival, the Saturday Night Festival, is open to 5th through 12th graders. So it really covers the whole student, the range of students, and it's really the only one that I know of that's open to, for anyone can.
How long does
enter
it
a film.
take for these kids to develop a film or?
Yeah, I think it varies from. I mean, what we do get are some animations, and we just received one where the person did animations in chalk or pencil or charcoal, and each frame was almost a different painting. So that could take weeks, months to do. A lot of work goes into this. Or if you do a live action, just a narrative story, you got to get actors, you have to get a location, maybe costumes, props.
There's a lot that goes into it.
A lot that goes into it.
Now, how do you know that it's all original stuff? I mean, the kid is doing this, and it's not some Aunt Mame or somebody.
Right? Is this their story?
Yeah.
Well, we don't, I guess, in a way. We take their word for it. They're pretty honest. If they get an idea from someone else, they'll say maybe their teacher helped them with it. These aren't really complex, not always very complex stories. I think they really come from the heart. So, and that's why they're, we really think that they're from their own imaginations.
How do you solicit entrance? I mean,
boy, we send out many flyers and letters to schools. We have an email mailing list to over 500 email addresses. We send out releases.
Social media.
Yeah, and because of that, social media, Facebook, Twitter, and we've gotten our submissions come from Chicago. We're getting films from Lake Bluff, Naperville, all over the area.
You ever get some stage moms, kind of not, I should say stage, but where
that's a good.
My kid should have won a prize, or you didn't select my son or daughter.
I refer those questions to Jay. Yeah.
Have we been challenged? I don't.
We have not been challenged.
Yeah.
The thing is that it's really interesting that, yes, I think in many disciplines, in orchestra or in dance or theater, a lot of times the parents, do kind of help their kids along. These kids are all on their own. They're very, very, I guess autonomous.
And you get them from all over too, don't you? Entrance from all
everywhere.
All over
We've had them from all over Chicago area, and that's the cool thing. So the word's getting out there. Like I just said, we have Lake Forest, Naperville. We've had Bolingbrook. We've had Cary. We've had all over the place.
Okay, now somebody's won a prize.
Yeah.
Can they come back and win another prize next year?
You bet.
Sure, definitely.
Have you ever had that happen?
We've had filmmakers come back with projects.
Okay.
We've never had back-to-back winners or any. I can't think of any they've won. But we've had winners come back and show other films. So
this could be
that's
that year,
cool.
though.
This could be that year. Yeah, we've gotten.
Cleaning house.
We have one of our, at least two of our winners from last year have submitted films again this year. So they're being judged right now. So we'll see if they.
Were you surprised at all when that letter that you sent got such a positive response?
Yeah, I sent it in March of that year, and I didn't hear anything through the summer months. I was going to be in high school the following fall, and I think it was a week or two before I started my freshman year, I got a response, and I couldn't
What
believe
kind of
it.
response did you get?
It was from Rob. And
phone call, note?
It was an email, and he said, "Hey, we're going to run with the idea. We love it, and it's going to happen next year."
And he's been working with the fest since then.
Okay.
Doing
what's your
coordination.
Is this something you want to do for the rest of your life? Or?
Yeah, I'm studying arts management along with theater technology in school at Columbia downtown.
Okay.
Basically, take my job when I'm done.
You'll never be done.
He's not going anywhere.
You'll be like Trigger. stuffed and in the foyer.
Propped up in the, yes, in my chair, yeah, right. Yeah, maybe about the same volume of work it'll come out of me too, you know, so.
He's turning into dusting
Well,
off.
it's good to see you guys again.
Well, thanks for having me.
thank
It's a
you.
great festival. It's the weekend of the 26th.
Somebody wants to enter, what do they do?
27th. If they want to enter, it's too late now, but they can always go to screenteststudentfest.org, and we always, keep up to date on what's coming up and what there is to do. But we, make movies all year long. We tell people, 'cause,
Not all year wrong, but all year long.
No, all year wrong. Yeah, we don't want them to be wrong, but all year long, because they can submit a film that they made, in the summertime or in the spring. So it's great.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Keep away from that cup.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That's an inside joke, folks. Many are familiar with the role of local government, but we'll take a look beyond the village and find out more about the county's involvement next here on Speaking of Schaumburg. With a population of roughly 5.2 million residents, Cook County is the second largest county in the nation. Here today to talk about the role of county government is Cook County Commissioner Tim Schneider. Tim, welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Good morning, Mayor. Glad to be here.
Now, how does county government interface, let's say, with local governments like the village of Schaumburg?
Well, as you know, we're working together right now on the integration of our traffic infrastructure with the expansion of the Jane Addams Tollway and how that integrates with Roselle Road and some of the roadways in Schaumburg, and we want to make sure that that is done in a way that's cost effective, that improves the ability for economic growth in Schaumburg. With the Roselle expansion and interface there, we're going to be able to expand the economic infrastructure, allow for more development.
The
in the
Elgin
Schaumburg
O'Hare
area.
Expressway, right?
Pardon me?
You're talking about the Elgin O'Hare Expressway.
No, I'm talking about I-90 at Roselle.
Okay.
Oh,
that's right. You guys would have a role there, wouldn't you?
Right,
Because
right.
You have the county road. And
We want to create an interchange there. We're working with the Village of Hoffman Estates on an interchange at Barrington Road, and also there's going to be a possible expansion at Meacham. So we want to improve those connections so that we can improve the economic developments of the areas. We're also working with the Village of Schaumburg to improve a traffic light signal just north of Roselle and Schaumburg
Bethel
Road
Baptist,
for the
right?
Bethel Baptist Church, and I think it's Pleasant Trail there so that we can allow for greater safety in and out of Friendship Village. So we integrate very much with local governments. We also, my goal is to work, as I did, to oppose Todd the Stroger administration in repealing the 1% sales tax in Cook County.
You were pushing on that, weren't
Well,
you?
I was one of the lead sponsors because I thought that was very detrimental, especially to the area I represent, which borders Lake, DuPage, and Kane counties.
How big is your area, by the way?
Well, I represent around 320,000 people and represent 13 municipalities in my district, all the way from Elk Grove Village, Des Plaines, Mount Prospect to the east, all the way to Elgin, Bartlett, and Streamwood to the west, with Hoffman Estates, Roselle, Schaumburg, and Elk Grove in between.
Okay, all right. How did you get involved in county government? I mean, how did you ran for office and
Well, I ran for office in 2006 for the county board. I'd always been interested in politics. I grew up with my father in a family business, and actually had county inspectors come out that were always looking for a little handout to
Really?
overlook things in inspections.
You experienced that?
Yeah, I did firsthand. And I said, someday I'd like to have something to do with changing that. So what I did is I ran for township elected office. I was successful as a township trustee, ran for township highway commissioner, and then in 2006 ran for county board because I saw that there was not enough accountability, transparency. They were wasting our money. There's too much patronage going on, and I wanted to be involved in changing that.
Now, you had a golf course, didn't you?
I did, and that's where the interface came with the county inspectors,
Okay.
because it was the unincorporated areas, and the building and zoning department inspectors in Cook County at that time, and still do inspect the unincorporated areas. And I'd like to say that has changed a great deal since then.
You had swans on your property too, didn't you?
I do, we do, and we also there was a time when they thought that swans would actually get rid of Canadian geese, and while that's true when swans are nesting, they won't let anybody, even a person, near their nest. They'll try and flag you away, but it was kind of a fallacy because they live pretty much in harmony with one another, but a lot of people like the swans, so at one time we had nearly 100 swans that we were farming out to different areas.
Well, we have a pair of swans that come back every year, Luz and Serena, and apparently these swans, they do come out after Canada geese, when Canada geese land in the water. They'll leave ducks alone. Ducks are smaller, but they go right after them. I've seen it where 40 Canada geese are on that pond, and Lewis will go out right at and chase every one of them off.
Yeah. There are a lot of there are aggressive ones, and especially when the female is sitting on a nest. We've seen where we've had to actually take them out of homeowners' ponds because they'll actually come up into rowboats where a father and a son and a wife might be in a rowboat. So they can be aggressive at times.
Wasn't there a situation recently where somebody was in a kayak and supposedly a swan knocked him out of the kayak and he drowned?
And he drowned, yeah. I heard about that. Yeah. That's a rare instance. They're usually pretty docile with people, and they're actually quite beautiful to see in ponds.
How many Cook County commissioners are there?
Well, there are 17 Cook County commissioners, and we each represent, as I said earlier, about 320,000 people, and we are responsible for the budget of the Cook County administration, which is roughly $3 billion. We have the president of the Cook County Board, Toni Preckwinkle, but we also...
She replaced Todd Stroger, right?
She did, and I'd like to say we've seen about a 180-degree reversal since President Preckwinkle has come in. We've seen a lot more accountability, a lot better management since that administration has come in. But we also oversee the offices budget-wise of the sheriff, the recorder of deeds, the assessor, the clerk, the county treasurer. They operate independently, but we approve their budgets.
Cook County Hospital too? Is that?
Well, Cook County Hospital is a department under the president of the Cook County Board, and we are, if not, probably the second largest hospital system in the United States, and it roughly incurs 1/3 of our $3 billion budget. We spend about $1 billion as the healthcare safety net for the people of Cook County.
I think one of the most direct impact that Cook County has over the villages was in wintertime snowplowing. We got a lot of these county roads that come through town, Schaumburg Road, and
We do. We interface a lot in the plowing and the maintenance of roadways, and that's difficult for a lot of taxpayers to understand how county roads integrate with municipal roads, with state routes, and you really don't know which, the taxpayer won't know which is which, but I'm sure the village of Schaumburg would get a lot of press when say Schaumburg Road or Roselle Road, which are county roads, if something's wrong.
And Gulf Road too, which is a state route, right?
Right. And they'll call you, but then your department will interface with us if there's a problem and contact us, and we'll get right on it.
Now, you also do other things too besides pick up animal carcasses that have been killed by cars and on county roads. Is that something that you guys do?
Well, we do. If there are, we see a lot of deer in this area, and so we pick up a lot of deer and things like that.
What do you do with the deer when you pick it?
Well, I don't know if I'm at liberty to tell you that, but I really don't know. I'm sure they're just disposed of in a proper fashion.
Okay. Yeah. And how long have you lived in the area?
I lived in unincorporated Hanover Township my whole life. And then up until 2001 when I moved into Bartlett. So I live in Bartlett out in the far western edge, but I have a district office in Elk Grove Village, and I try to interface with all my mayors and village boards so I can find out what their needs are and be accountable to them as well as all the taxpayers of my district.
You feel comfortable giving us your phone number here in case somebody wants to?
Happy to.
Go ahead.
My cell phone number is 847-254-8166, and my line to my county office is 312-603-6388. If I can help anybody out in any way, that's my job. It's going to
be on a screen now, you know that.
That's all right. But I'm a public servant, and my job is to engage the public and assist them in any issues that they would have with Cook County.
Now, how do I know that you're Tim and not your brother?
Well, because I wear my watch on my right hand. We're identical twins, as you know.
Yes.
So he wears his watch on his left hand because he's right-handed, and I wear my watch on my right hand right arm because I'm left-handed. That's how you
How
tell the
did
difference.
it work out? You know, I guess when you're growing up, I guess that
Well, here's the thing. When you're truly identical twins like we are, and when that cell splits, if you're identical, it actually splits like this and then turns inward like that, so you're mirror images of one another. And Tom and I are actually true mirror images of one another. We even have birthmarks on his would be on the left side, and I have a little one on the right side. It's amazing how close we are.
that's interesting.
But he likes to hunt. He's a big hunter, and I'm not a big hunter.
Okay.
He handles the swan business. He likes to bow hunt deer and things like that. And I spend most of my time engaged in trying to solve the issues of the county.
Tim, glad to have you on board.
Mayor, it's my pleasure
Thanks
to
a
be
lot.
here. Thank you so much
Appreciate
for
it.
having me.
If you fancy yourself a green thumb, a local organization might have just what you're looking for. Find out more here next on Speaking of Schaumburg. Established as a nonprofit organization in 1989, the Schaumburg Community Garden Club utilizes their passion for planting to help better the community. Here today to give us the dirt on their upcoming projects is Club President Jan Dowd. Jan, welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me.
Oh, now, how did you get involved in the garden club?
Well, that's quite interesting. I got laid off from my job in 2004, and my backdoor neighbor said, you know, she saw that I had a vegetable garden. She said, maybe you'd like to check out our meeting. And I did, and I've become very involved since then. I've served on different officer positions as well as on the board.
And who was that neighbor?
Diane Hay.
Is she still involved in the club?
Yes, she is.
Okay, so you had a vegetable garden, and what did she have? Did she have a...
She had flowers, and now I don't have vegetables because our trees have taken over shade, and so
sure.
I don't have. I have a few vegetables, but my garden has expanded. I started from a very small, like 3 by 3 geraniums in the front of my yard, and now the front of the yard and the back of the yard is. It's pretty amazing, and all the plants came from the Schaumburg Garden Club.
I used to have a
That's
shade garden. I used to get
Yeah.
shade plants, you know.
Yeah, I have mostly shade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I used to love getting tuberous begonias until they got too expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
So how long have you been involved in the garden club?
I joined the garden club then in 2004, around August 2004.
Okay. You just showed up and...
I just showed up and joined.
Okay. How many members does the club have?
It's close to 100. You know, this is the beginning of the year, so some members drop off, and then as events start, you know, they join again. Or
And it's the Schaumburg Garden Club, but it's much more than Schaumburg, though, isn't it?
Yes, we have members from Arlington Heights, Streamwood. You know, it is Hoffman Estates, Bloomingdale. You know, yeah, it's not
Now,
just Schaumburg.
You have a native plant sale coming up, don't you?
Yes, we have the native plant sale coming up the first weekend in May. We're very excited about that. It's May. It's the first Sunday in May is when our plant sale
tell me
takes
about
place.
that native plant sale. Where is it, and how can people buy it? And
Okay, the native plant sale is held at Spring Valley Nature Center at 111 East Schaumburg Road here in Schaumburg. Our website is up, and by the way, we do have a new website. It's been completely revamped. It's the SchaumburgGardenClub.org, and the form is on the website in order to order your plants. We are encouraging our customers to pre-order. Our deadline for pre-ordering is April 20th. If you pre-order, you're pretty much guaranteed the plants that you want. And we're making one other change this year. I've worked the native plant sale for many years, and people who have pre-ordered said, why do I have to stand in line if I pre-ordered? So we're going to kind of streamline it this year, and the customers don't have to go back to the tent. They can pick up their pre-orders at the curbside. And
Oh, really?
obviously they might have to wait a little bit, but they won't be waiting like they did before.
No, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
But they have to, again, the deadline is April 20th for the pre-orders.
April 20th. And what how many? Is there dues or is there meeting times?
Yes, the dues is $20 a year for a single individual and $30 for family membership. And family membership means you must live in the same household. So it could be a husband, wife. It could be a mother, daughter. It could be dad and daughter. You know, but
Now
Yeah, and we meet the second Wednesday of every month at 7 o'clock at Spring Valley Nature Center.
Okay. How many people typically show up for that meeting?
Around 50, which
Really?
is, yeah, which is, it depends upon our topic, obviously, but we usually average 50 and sometimes even a little bit more.
Well, tell me about some of the topics that you.
Oh, great. We just had someone that, just this past month in March, someone who spoke about organic
Okay.
gardening.
Sure.
Last year we had some on heirloom tomatoes, and there's just a huge variety. In the month of April, Dave Brooks from Spring Valley is going to speak on native plants,
Okay.
and hopefully that'll boost our sales.
Yeah. Now you also have a peony garden, don't you?
Yes, well, it's actually Spring Valley's peony garden, but
I know, but you guys are the guys who kind of promoted that.
yeah, but no, it's Spring Valley. And we do on behalf of Spring Valley, we do assist in the sales of their shrubs and their trees and their peonies
Okay.
and their rain barrels.
Okay, rain barrels. Okay.
By Spring Valley.
If somebody wanted a rain barrel, what would they do?
They would actually they just come that day, and we would direct them to the inside of the building. And if they ask us, we'd direct them inside, and they could purchase a rain barrel.
Do you have seminars on rain gardens too?
No,
No. Okay.
we could. That could be a future topic.
That'd be kind of interesting, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? It would. Now you're talking about your garden. Tell me about your garden that you have.
Again, it's mostly shade, and that doesn't mean that I limit my plants to shade. I have astilbes, I have coneflowers, I have Rebecca. I have a huge variety. I have cardinal flowers, royal catchfly. I like bright colors, so
Sure.
I've got reds.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have any peonies, or is that something?
One. And actually,
Oh,
it's
you have one peony?
I do, but it's actually very old. It came from Iowa. My mother gave it to me when we
Okay.
moved here to Schaumburg in 1976, and it was obviously several years after that whenever we were doing the garden, but it's a very old peony. It comes from Iowa.
So, do you guys have something called a plant swap at all? You know, where
What happens, which is really nice and a benefit of joining the club, is that if people are splitting their plants,
Yes.
they'll bring them to the meetings, and it's like, okay, you put it on the table, and if someone wants it, they just take it, which is really nice.
Oh yeah.
And then what we do too at the bargain bulb sale on the first weekend in June, the first Saturday in June, members split from their own gardens. So we sell any leftover plants from the native plant
Like
sale.
daffodils or
No.
not bulbs. No.
No, the bulbs actually come from the Park District, and we do sell those, but they're tulips. They're not
okay.
daffodils. Yeah.
Well, yeah. The thing with tulips, though, squirrels and rabbits,
Yeah.
mice love tulips, but they don't eat daffodils.
Right. I think you should mix them, right? But yeah, so it's a nice. Members at the bulb sale. Members then can bring their plants that
That's
they want
great.
to split, and make a little bit for the club. And you had asked earlier about kind of what we do. We do make donations
Okay.
to schools who are interested in gardening. We've made donations to Spring Valley. Recently, we just wrote a really nice check to Spring Valley. Should I tell the amount?
Sure.
$4,150.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
it's for the cistern that they're putting in, and the Mighty Acorns Project, which is school children. And
Well, that's great. That's great. Jan, thanks for being on.
oh,
Speaking of
you're
Schaumburg.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this edition of Speaking of Schaumburg. Join us again next month for another brand new episode. Until then, I'll see you around town.